point. Y'all make me mad. Y'all make me so mad. If you're uncomfortable, you can leave. So an actual crazy thing happened in September with the books that I read. I think that I read the least amount of books that I have read in a month so far in 2025. However, I had the most 5-star, back-to-back 5-star books that I have had in 2025, and I think in my reading book talk journey, I had 4 5-star, like not just basic 5-star, but like 5 stars that I'm absolutely obsessed with, that I want to call 6 stars, that are potentially going to be God tier series that I read in the month of September. So let's get into all the books that I read in September. I'm going to tell you all the tea, whether or not I think you should read them. Spoiler alert, I actually think you should read every single book that I read in September because not one of them was below 4 stars. I need you to get your pen, get your paper, get your notes, get your Goodreads, and take notes because every single one of the books I read in September needs to be on your TBR. Now we're gonna start out with the book that I just finished most recently because I'm so excited to talk about it. It literally just came out last week. It's already completely taking over book talk, taking over the book community, and I'm going to be here to vouch for it as a 6-star, life-changing, God tier read. And it's going to be a duology, so there's only going to be 2 books. If you have not read The Ascended, I'm going to need you to put it on your TBR immediately, like right now. I feel like I need you to drop every single thing that you're reading, drop your entire TBR. This has games and trials. It's got gods, they're kind of like celestials. I don't really know how to describe it, but like games and trials. And then the thing that I really loved about this book is it's not just an FMC. We have the POVs from a female main character as usual with a romantasy book. And then we have her twin brother, an MMC, who's like not the love interest, obviously, because he's her brother. This isn't one of those romances. And it's sort of like when you read the Crescent City series and you start getting like Rune Dannon's POV, like he's a hot guy, but he's also a main character instead of just a love interest. So you get a story and potentially a love story from a female main character's point of view and also from her hot twin brother's POV. Like we have multiple characters that we care about in here. And I feel like that really kind of sets it apart from like the basic romantasies that I've been reading recently because it's not just your basic like female main character goes through trials, finds a hot man, falls in love with him, has a traditional romantasy romance. It's so much deeper than that. So we've got our female main character and her twin brother, and they live in a world where the powers that they have, I don't know if you would say they're like illegal, but like it's a secret. They're not supposed to tell anyone that they have these powers, and everyone's powers who has magical powers is completely different. Like everyone is sort of like gifted with something different. So she knows that she has powers, and if it is revealed that she has powers, she has to participate in trials to become an Ascended, which is the title of the book. And the trials are obviously like deadly, they're high stakes. Not a lot of people make it out of the trials, and she doesn't want to be a part of that. Like she wants to live her life. She wants to be with the current person that she has fallen in love with. Like she just wants to have a normal life and not this. And then as far as she knows, her brother does not have powers. But clearly the story would not move forward if it was not revealed that our main character does indeed have powers, and she's got really cool celestial star powers. So basically she can manipulate the stars and the heavens and like create weapons out of star matter, and it's much deeper than that. It's much more intense than that, but basically that's what she can do. And then there's a little twist in the beginning of the book that we won't talk about, but like basically she ends up having to go on these trials. So this is a book with games and trials in it, and she has a mentor who is a necromancer, and spoiler alert, he's a hot guy who I'm completely feral over. And this guy is also not your typical MMC. He's kind of grumpy, like he's more like sarcastic and snarky, but he's funny, he's witty, he is charming, but also like he's a little bit of a booty hole, you know, like he's kind of rude. We love like a charming, rude man, or I love a charming, rude man. His power is that he can raise the unalived and make them do whatever he wishes to do. So he's got a tortured past. our FMC has had a hard life and it's trainer trainee type of thing. But this, like, I don't know how to describe it. The writing is amazing. It's not just like a vibes read where it's like, it's romance, it's trials, it's vibes. Like, you got to kind of ignore the writing because it's not great, but the story is good. This is good writing, good story, good storytelling, good pacing, good plot, amazing characters, amazing character development, amazing tension and yearning romance, and then an end that completely pops off. Like, this is every single thing you're looking for. Like, it's late at night and I'm having to film this video before I go out of town and have to get up at 4 a.m. So I don't know if I'm sounding quite as excited as I am about this. I just filmed a solo review for it and I think I used all of my energy in that. But I'm very excited about this book. And I kicked my husband out of the house, so now we're in like a little passive fight because I made him go outside because I can't film when he's in the house. But I'm doing this so that I can tell you about The Ascended, which I really think is going to be the next book to completely like blow up all over the book community. Like, this is potentially the next ACOTAR, the next Fourth Wing. Like, in my opinion, this is better than both of them. That was it. That was 5-star book number 1. Now, 5-star book number 2 is not going to be a surprise because I knew and you knew. Has anybody seen Talipo? You know, and I know. And Come to Go Calico, please tell me that somebody else knows what that means. That was very niche. Eldrich is the second book in the Eating Woods trilogy, and we've been hearing me talk about Anathema like all year. Anathema I read in 2024 in October, and I knew it was going to be amazing. Spoiler, it was amazing. It was a 5-star read. And the way that Eldrich is even better than Anathema. Eldrich, like, Anathema is a gothic, spooky romance, spicy gothic fantasy romance that is immersive, and the world is so interesting and different and spooky and dark and violent and like all of those things. And then Eldrich like takes that amazing world that Keri Lake has created and dives you so deep into the characters. And this one is so deep. Like, the thing about Eldrich is you're going to be immersed and feel a closeness that you've never felt to a book boyfriend, to a male main character. The way that Zavander, like, Keri dives into Zavander's past, into his thoughts. You get his POV. He's a little bit crazy in the head. Like, he's a little bit wild. He's a little bit unhinged. And being in his head is the most heartbreaking, interesting, hot thing. I don't know how to explain that to you. You have to read it. I know that sounds weird and unhinged, but like, I'm attracted to him, but also I'm in his head wanting to cry with and for him. I understand him on a deeper level. And then we have Maveth, our female main character, who is discovering all of these crazy powers that she has. And then to top it off, like, near the end of this book, when you start to think you know everything about the world, we're gonna have at least one dragon rider in here. So we've got gothic fantasy, we've got necromancy, we've got spooky, like, zombie resurrected beings that are scary, and then also we have a dragon rider. So I feel like it has everything. Eldrich is deep, it's immersive, and it is a book that has an actual unhinged, heartbreaking plot twist ending. I was mad. I was upset at the ending of this book, and to be honest, that's something I love in a romantasy book. I love to be angry. I love to be manipulated. I love to have my heart ripped out, and I did successfully have my heart ripped out at the end of this book. Like, I was very sad and very mad, and I was thinking, like, no way she's gonna do that to us. Like, why would you do that to us? And she did. It's perfect to read it like before or near Halloween. So this needs to be on your immediate TBR. All right, so let's move on to something a little less serious, a little more fun for our Fourth Wing girlies. Now listen, I can talk about how boring and vanilla and lame Xaden is all day, and you know, I know that a fairy loses its wings every time I talk about how much I don't like Xaden. I get it. If you're uncomfortable, you can leave. I'm so over people taking that so seriously. But if you do like Fourth Wing, you probably are like, why the heck are you reading this? Why did you like it if you didn't like Fourth Wing? Number one, there is an entire lore. on me and Fourth Wing. So if you're new here, you simply don't get it. And that's okay. You'll have to go through my lore videos where I break down exactly what I thought of the whole series. But if you like Fourth Wing, and if you like Xaden, and if you like Dragon Riders, I read this and I had a great freaking time. Now let me tell you why I had a good time with this. It takes the bones of Fourth Wing. There is very clearly a lot of inspiration from Fourth Wing in this book. So it is similar, but to me, at times, and this is kind of a positive, just funny thing, it almost felt like it was making fun of Fourth Wing. It felt like there was a little bit of parody jokes in here, so I was appreciating picking up on that. But the biggest thing about this is there's a love triangle in it. It is not just one guy, and it's not just a guy like Xaden. So we have a book boyfriend, two book boyfriends in here. One of them was heavily reminding me of Dorian from Throne of Glass, and one of them was giving like Xaden if he didn't keep all of those annoying secrets. So like we do have a darker, broody emo boy, but he's not being like, I can't tell you about my past. I can't tell you about my... He's not doing that BS, okay? That has annoyed me for the entirety of the 3 books. So this also has a completely different writing style than Fourth Wing. It's not as serious. It's not as like, you better understand this fantasy and take it very seriously and get all the Easter eggs I'm throwing at you. This is more like reading the first book in the Zodiac Academy series, where like the writing is very casual. It's very conversational. Some people will say it's bad writing, but I don't think writing without a bunch of big words and metaphors and like, the leaves were the color of amber and tear-soaked children's tears, whatever. I don't think you need that to constitute good writing. And then this one has a fair amount of emotional damage in it. The end of this book was quite sad. It has some plot twists in it. So it's not the same plot as Fourth Wing. You won't be able to guess what happens. The dragon magic system is completely different than the magic system in Fourth Wings. It was a good time until the end. The end was not a good time, but like not in a bad way. It was like emotionally damaging, and I was like, well, that checks another box. We love emotional damage. 2 guys. I clearly have a favorite, and my favorite is not the one that is giving Xaden. My favorite is the nicer, the funny brother. Of course, I always love the funny brother. I'm a Damon Salvatore girly. That's how I am. And unpopular opinion, I actually want you guys to tell me what you think about this. I think Xaden Ryerson is Stefan Salvatore. In what world is Xaden Ryerson Damon Salvatore? Damon Salvatore has dad jokes, charisma, and comedy for days. Xaden has never said something funny or cracked a smile in his entire existence in the 3 books that he's in, okay? This has a funny guy in it. This has a guy that'll make jokes. This has a guy that will, like, be there for you and make you feel good about yourself and is just sort of a more light but still very attractive guy. So, vibes. The second book is coming out pretty soon. I think it's coming out in January. So, hop on this one because it's a really, really good and fun but also not so fun with the emotional damage. Let's move completely out of the realm of fantasy and romantasy for a second, because my palette cleanser for this month, my contemporary romance read, was Wildcard by Elsie Silver. Now, this was my second 4-star read. I have a really hard time rating contemporary romance 5 stars. Something that I have rated 5 stars that's contemporary romance was A Love Letter to Whiskey. Or maybe I rated it 4.5 stars. I got a little hack for you on Love Letter to Whiskey. Don't read the epilogue, and then it will be a 5-star read. If you're an emotional damage girly. If you like happy endings, continue on into the epilogue. I personally thought reading the epilogue was a mistake. Anyways, it has to be like a life-changing contemporary romance that has a little bit more emotional depth in it for me to rate it 5 stars, but generally like 4 stars for a contemporary romance is really good for me, and this one was 4 stars. So this was the first Elsie Silver book and contemporary romance book that I read that has to do with an ex-boyfriend's dad, okay? So this, I didn't think I was going to be into that. I just personally hear ex-boyfriend's dad and I'm like, ew, I don't want to read about that. Again, Elsie Silver takes every single trope that I think I'm too good for and she makes me thirsty for it. You know, I was totally feeling Bash. I did this. I went back and forth listening to this on audiobook and reading it with my eyes. I loved the voice of the guy who did Bash. And this one, I just really liked the way that they met. So in the very beginning of this book, both of them are stuck on a plane. They're stuck in an airport like overnight for a delayed flight. They meet each other. They hang out. They have one of those really like cute romantic meets that you're like, wow, this is so sweet. And then they exchange numbers and neither one of them hears from each other for like a year. And then the next time they meet, it's at a party, a family party where she is dating and with his son, and his son introduces her to his dad. So that's drama. That's tea. And there's a lot of emotion. As usual in an Elsie Silver book, there's some sort of trauma, there's healing. There are ways that these characters come together to heal each other. And I really liked the dynamic. I liked this book. It was great. Let's move into my book club pick for the month of September. This is another 5-star read. You're welcome. I serve you guys in my book club 5-star reads. If you want to join the book club, it's in my link on Instagram. It's on Fable, and then we have different platform. We have it on Discord as well, but like we're always reading the same book. So it depends on what platform you want to be on. But In the Veins of the Drowning is so refreshingly good. It's dark. It's very dark. My thing about this is the FMC in this is kind of like actually morally gray. Like she is not a 100% good character. Like she makes very interesting, weird decisions. She's got a darkness in her, and she is a siren, and she's connected to these things that are basically they're kind of like water zombies. They're like unalived sirens that are in the water that she can kind of raise. They're just bodies. So she's kind of like a siren necromancer, I guess, if you want to put it like in a way that's easy to understand. There's lore and there's titles for all those things in here, but she's basically a siren necromancer who has a tie to an evil person, and that person has a bond, a connection with her. So she's kind of evil. She's kind of evil. The romance in here is so strangely refreshing. Like, it's not full of miscommunication. Like, it's not angsty. I mean, it's angsty for different reasons. Like, it's kind of a forbidden love situation, but like, they're so honest with each other that I'm just like, wow. Like, I honestly don't know what it's like to read a romance where there isn't some sort of secret or miscommunication. And the angsty thing about this romance is that this guy is betrothed to someone else. So like, that's drama, and I love that drama, but like, that's not secret keeping or annoying things where like you as the reader think it's like unbelievable. You're like, literally all you had to do was tell this person this one thing and you wouldn't have any of these problems that end up lasting for like 3 books. Like, we're not getting that kind of annoying thing in here. This doesn't have any of that. So I thought the world was very interesting. The romance was very interesting. Everything in here was like a breath of fresh air. Like, it was just nice to read about. It was amazing. Very interesting. Would recommend 5 stars. So speaking of spooky season reads, I also read a standalone this month. Well, I listened to it on audiobook, but I listened to The Hound of Scrying Hollow. And I'm going to tell you right now, this one was like actually creepy. Like, you know, the way that Anathema and Eldrich are actually creepy. This one was gothic and haunting, and it's sort of like a dark, grim fairy tale vibe retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So we have a character, and her town has been plagued by the Hound. And he like gets people. He takes family members, he unalives them, tragedy. So she is going into the woods to find this beast and unalive him and save her town from the plague. But of course, it's a romance. It's a spicy romance. So the beast in the woods is a man. Shocker. That's not a spoiler. I feel like I can tell you that. And he's a hot man who lives alone in this gothic castle in the woods that, get this, is guarded by these things called thin wolves. And they're scary. So like, think about Slender Man, but like, what if Slender Man was a wolf? So basically, like, when they're described, she's looking out the window and there are these tall, spindly trees around the castle in the woods. And she thinks she's looking at a tree, but then it'll move and she'll see like glowing eyes, and it's called a thin wolf, and it's actually terrifying. Like, it's really scary. Like, if I saw that in the woods, I would lose my mind. Like, it's scary. It was really good. It was a 4-star read. Like, that's really good, in my opinion, for a standalone. So definitely add that to your spooky season TBR. And then finally, I have to talk about a series that, I will be honest, The Ascended was my favorite thing that I read this year. However, A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly, the Compelling Fate Saga Book 1, is a close second. Before I read The Ascended, this. If you remember how you, like, the amount of moments you had while you were reading ACOTAR, maybe while you were reading Throne of Glass, depending on which one came first. This is the first book, literally, since ACOTAR, that has given me those feelings, those deep, like, from within, this is a good book type of feeling. And I don't want to tell you much about it because like the same goes with ACOTAR. Like if you had known some of the major plot points, if someone had spoken to you, like the green newbie romantasy reader, and told you it was enemies to lovers before you read it, then you would have been like, oh, well, clearly she's not going to end up with Tamlin. So I'm not going to give you the tropes that are in this book. I'm not going to say what they are because I do think for this particular book, if I were to tell you what tropes were in here, in my opinion, it would be a spoiler. So I will tell you that it has fae, it has shifters, it's got a little subplot of trials. I wouldn't necessarily call it a fully like games and trials themed book, but there are games and trials in here. They're kind of strange and different and weird. And then we do, of course, have a broody MMC. We've got angst in our romance. I will preface by like being upfront and honest. As you start reading this book, you might be bored a little bit. Like I think the book is very interesting, but it does kind of start out like a general every other romantasy book. It's a trick, you guys. It's a trick, okay? So I need you to let this one cook because I started it and I had just committed to it. Like I heard someone on Book Talk say that this was a god tier series for them, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stick it out because I trust this person enough to think that like something is gonna happen to change my mind. It did. So there are people telling me like in my comments, like I'm so-and-so % into this book and it's a snooze, or like I'm not, it's feeling like every other book, or I don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't know what I'm talking about yet, because this is a book that I get a little bit frustrated, and I did this too, so like I can't get too frustrated, but I get really frustrated with people when they pick up a book that they know is the first book in a multi-book series. Like this series is going to be 4 books. We know there's more than one book. I get really frustrated when people pick up a book and they expect the entire plot to be revealed, everything about the romance to be crystal clear, to know exactly where everything is going, to have questions answered. It's the first book in a series. Like, what would the rest of the series be for if the author gave you everything up front and you had no questions? If you are telling me that you're DNFing because you just don't see where it's going, I've literally had people say that to me. They're like, I just don't know where this is going. I don't know. That's the whole point. The entire point of finishing the first book in a series is not knowing where it's going at the end. Like, how freaking boring would that be? Y'all make me mad. Y'all make me so mad. Like, it's 2025. I don't get how, like, we've gotten to this place where we're so impatient and we just give up on books. Like, and to be fair, I'm not talking about, like, when you genuinely despise a book that you're reading. I'm not talking about that. Like, I don't think, that there's that big of a chance that just reading to the end will change your mind. Like, if you're having a miserable time, don't read the book. Yes, you should DNF and not waste your time on a book that you don't like, even if people are saying like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, if you don't think that, that's fine. You don't think that. But if you're generally enjoying it, it's a fantasy book, you know that the end could potentially pop off and go in a different direction, and you're saying, oh, well, nothing really has happened so far. What do you want to have happened in the first 200 pages? Like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Like, on the one hand, I agree with people DNFing books they don't like. On the other hand, I think people are really lazy and they're just not finishing books because they think every single second of reading should make them be like, oh, what's happening? Everything's going crazy. That's not how reading works. That's not how reading works, and that's not how a fantasy series works. Yes, the writing should be good enough to keep you interested. You should want to read it, but you shouldn't expect the end of book 1 in a multi-book series to be the epitome of the series. The epitome of the series is the end of the series. Like, you got to get there. You got to read the series to read the series. Okay, rant over. Every single person should read or try this book. I would like to really hammer in that if you don't like the book, that does not make it a bad book, and it doesn't make my review on it wrong. This is my review. This is how I feel. You can make your own review, and you're welcome to tell me that you didn't like it respectfully in the comments. I want to hear that, and I also want to hear why. But I don't want to hear that I'm wrong because I have a different opinion than you. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of people thinking that if we don't have the same opinion on a book, we're mortal enemies and I'm a dummy. Like, that's just wrong. You're the one. You're the one with the problem. If that is your way of thinking, I'm going to bluntly tell you, you are the one with the problem. So that's it. that's my September reading wrap up. That started out really low energy. I hope you waited to the end to get the complete breakdown that I had at the end. People just make me angry. People make me angry, and I let it all bubble up at the end of this review. So those were the books that I read in September. Let me know if you would like to see my remaining 2025 TBR, because it has changed. It has changed, and I fear there are like 10 more 5-star reads that I'm going to read before the end of the year. I'm about to read Hollow by the Twisted Sisters. I have the ARC copy. Let me get it. Let me show it to you. It's actually so beautiful. Here it is. I think this is going to be a God tier book. This is the one I'm the most sure about, just because I know I've read so many Twisted Sisters books that like I just know. And if it's not, I will be so shocked if this is not at least a 4.5 star. I'm gonna read this on the plane. I have to get up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. I'm gonna carry this. I'm gonna read it I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I will be back with a review. Let me know if you are interested. Never done a reading vlog before, but I feel like I'm so excited about this one that I actually kind of want to record my reactions as I go along. I don't know if I'm interesting or boring while I read books. I don't actually know what happens to me when I read a book. I do know that I was listening to an audiobook last night that I sat on my couch and was like, for like 5 minutes. So if that's entertaining to you, we can try out a reading vlog with some verbiage. Like I can speak to you about how I feel while I'm reading it and do updates without spoilers. Are you interested in that? I feel like YouTube is a really good place to put something like that for me to try it out. So let me know if you want a reading vlog for Hollow. This comes out on November 25th, so I'm happy to get you excited for it before it comes out. This is also the book that, little updates here at the end. This is the book that we are focusing on and reading before anybody else at my next Book Bestie book retreat. So in case you didn't know, and you want to be friends and you want to hang out in real life, I'm a very nice person. Even though I rag on Fourth Wing and I say a bunch of inflammatory things, if you have a problem with me being honest, you're the problem. I'm a very nice person, and I can literally be friends with anyone. So we have started doing book retreats, and the Twisted Sisters are actually going to send everybody who comes on the retreat an early copy of Hollow. It's not going to be the black and white one, but everybody's going to have it in their hands before anybody else does. Our retreat is going to be on the 13th, the 14th, whatever day of the week is the Thursday through Sunday. It is unfortunately sold out, but we'll be talking about the book spoiler-free. I'll put some clips of our book club in there. I'll put the spoiler-free parts of the book club online if you want to see them. And we're doing regular retreats now. We actually have one that is happening in January of 2026. I don't know what the book is going to be for that one yet, but I can tell you what I hope it's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be A Vow in Vengeance, which is supposed to be one of the most up-and-coming, like, really excellent, amazing books. It's got reviews that are on the same level as The Ascended so far from the ARC readers, and it comes out in January. So I'm hoping it will be A Vow in Vengeance. It could also be the second book in this series, maybe, or it could be a book that is neither one of those two, but if you want to come, we've actually recently added 3 more spots. I just haven't told anybody yet. It's a secret. I don't know why I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right time that feels right. But if you happen to be one of the special people who watches me on YouTube, there it is. We have 3 more spots. If you go to That Girl Reads, THTGRLREADS.com, and you go to events, you can find it and you can sign up on there. But yeah, we're going to the Outer Banks in North Carolina in January. I think I don't remember what date it is, but if you go to thatgirlreads.com, it's all of the information is in there. There is a payment plan. We are covering everything except if you're out of the country, your plane ticket. We are not covering any plane tickets, but we are covering all ground transportation, all food, all activities. We're giving you a big, like a swag bag full of stuff that will have some sort of early copy of a book in it when I figure out what it is. We are going to be on the beach. We're going to do bonding. We're going to do book bestie things. We're going to be friends. And if you don't know if you want to come, we've got 2 happening in 2025 that are sold out. We have one that's happening this weekend, this Thursday through Sunday. We're going to be at the Woolly Worm Festival in North Carolina, so you can follow along in my stories if you want to see what a retreat with me looks like. And then we're going to have one in November, the one that is featuring Hollow. That's going to be in November, and we're going to the Renaissance Fair, as well as reading Hollow and doing a bunch of other, like, private things as well. But If you're interested in events, let me know where you want to go. Let me know what you want to see, what you want to do. If you're interested in international, I can try to plan something like that with my coordinator. And that's it. So I think takeaway questions. Do we want a reading vlog for Hollow? Do you have any questions or thoughts or concerns about in-person events? And do you want to know what my remaining 2025 TBR is? Or do you not care about any of that? I don't know. What was the best book that you read in September? Did you have any God tier series? Are you going to read The Ascended? And did you read the Compelling Fate Saga? And do you agree with my assessment? I think that's it. I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe. What is the other thing? What are you supposed to say on here? Like and subscribe? Smash that like button. I don't know. I've heard somebody say that before. Whatever. Do whatever you want. Come back if you want to see updates. Yeah. And I don't know what to do here on YouTube. So let me know what kind of content you're interested in. I've heard people say that they love the long form, but like, what else do I talk about in long? Like, what else do you want to hear about? We want educational. We want lifestyle. Do you want me to just rant? Do we want to keep it to book reviews? Do you want long? When I finish this, do you want a 30-minute book review on it? Like, I'm here to serve you. Tell me what you want.